guys, it's Dave and Duncan from Metal Epidemic, back with another album review. And for this review, Duncan and I have been checking out the new album from US metal juggernauts Extinction A.D. The band's new album, Culture of Violence, was released on March 18th via Unique Leader Records. So these guys formed in 2013. This is the third album from this Long Island quartet, which follows up the band's 2021 EP, Chaos, Collusion, Carnage and Propaganda. On the new album, the band say Culture of Violence is the album we've been in the process of creating since 2015. This is the record where we can firmly say with confidence this is what Extinction A.D. is all about. The recording and releasing process has always been behind our songwriting for a few years, so the previous material was outdated to us before we even went in to record it. This album, we moulded ideas for years, as well as the fact that we never stopped writing, so everything is fresh and capturing us in this moment. Musically, lyrically, thematically and visually, this record is a heavy experience and a savage interpretation of what we've all witnessed and experienced over the past few years. So, we did a reaction to a track called Mastic from the album about a month or so ago.
Yeah, and we loved it.
We did.
So. Big old heavy Throwdown vibes on it, and that made me very happy.
Yeah, big fans. So yeah, I was definitely looking forward to checking out more of this. There's something kind of comforting about a band that just kind of wears its influences on its sleeve. You know what I mean?
100%.
And these are very different influences than you'd expect from a band on Unique Leader Records.
Once again, I'm sure you told me at the time, and I somehow forgot that even when I was listening to it, because they are the one that sounds different on that label.
For sure.
But I will put it this way: if you're gonna diversify your bands on your label, these are the sort of bands you need to go for.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, this is a great call, signing a band that is, a bit different from the rest of the roster. I don't think this will be the last signing like this either from Unique Leader. I've got a feeling they're going to start to do more of this.
A comfortable fit. Like, if you've got the deathcore stuff in there, you can start doing proper kind of metalcore or just good old fashioned metallic hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
It will fit in really, really well with that. With that label.
Yeah, for sure. So what did you make of the rest of this album, and how did you get on with it?
Fucking loved it. This is, you don't, as without going all twee, you don't know what you've got until it's gone.
Don't know what you got till it's gone.
It's literally how I felt when I listened to this. There's a part of me, as the older I get, the more my tastes get a bit, not weirder, it's not even more refined, but I find myself gravitating to weird little niches and kind of, really exploring other avenues in metal music that I would not have done when I was 18 or 19. That's why I really find myself enjoying doom stuff and the shoegaze stuff, stuff that really takes its time to find its sound or find its point, its conclusion. And then you forget that there's, every now and again, you just want an album to kind of spit in your face, kick you in the balls, and then slap you while you're crying. And that's kind of what Extinction A.D. have got here. Yeah. This is it's like they managed to distill the music I was listening to as a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old, into one fucking album and then serve it to me on a shit-stained silver platter. It's fucking amazing. Everything across this just made me happy. And I need to get this, out the way at the front. It just has no give. And the production is fucking awesome. Yeah. The production on this, the bass sound, I've been saying this so much tonight, but the bass sound on this album is fucking violent.
Yeah.
The bass sound feels like it should be holding you up for money, attacking you in a balaclava. Is that vicious and so prominent in the mix, and you need it. The drums are just so punchy, just really, really, really just raw and punchy, and kind of grab you by the scruff of the neck. And then
I do most of my listening at work, so I'm usually sitting at my desk listening to stuff. But I don't know what it was, but this album, I felt like I had to stand up when I was listening to it, and just like I had this like pose where I would just be like, fucking yes. Like every time I listened to it, I was like, I need to stand up and walk around or do something. I can't just sit still and listen to this. It's impossible.
It's like the distilled energy and just giving you it. And then you've got this razor guitar tone. It's like just like, once again, I hate to keep using the word vicious, but it is fucking vicious. And then the vocals kick in, and this dude could just this man has like only 2 careers he could ever have. One of them is singing in this band, and the other one's being a drill sergeant for new recruits joining the army. It is just like, it is a call to fucking arms, every single song. And this is a no frills album. Like I would comfortably say, like, Extinction A.D. are bringing nothing to this album that you have not heard other bands do before. Yeah. But what they have here, and I'm glad that they mentioned it themselves, there feels like a laser precision on every single song. Should like, as soon as this song even remotely feels like it might be getting tiresome, it's over. And that's what I loved about it. Like none of these songs are particularly long. They all follow a very similar formula, but they all like are like completely interesting in their own thing. They have like these kind of rousing sort of almost gang level kind of chorus bits, which, you know, are not in every single song, don't need to be in every single song. Lyrically, they're very, very, very playful with their lyrics. You only have to listen to Star Strangled Banner to get that. Or like Heads Will Roll is like I want that's my fucking going out in the town to get drunk music from now on. That's my fucking anthem. But then they play things up. 1992 is the first, like, you get this like attack from Culture of Violence, Domination, 13 into Mastic, which are just like bang, 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 like they're just fucking hitting you. And then like 1992 kicked in, and you get this different side of the band, like, which I really, really enjoyed. It kind of opens up their sound, and I kind of felt like, all right, we're going to get like they've got all the energy, we're going to go in a different direction now, and it starts to expand out, and then it instantly contracts for Heads Will Roll, and then like, no, like full on right to the end. I mean, this is fucking great, man. This is absolutely great. The aforementioned Throwdown is a great band to mention in conjunction with, but it just started to make me think of loads of different bands. The vocalist reminds me of someone specifically, and I cannot put my fucking finger on it, but there was elements in here of more kind of a hardcore, better produced version of some of the later Dry Kill Logic stuff, where you know, they just had a fucking angrier, punchier, less new metal-y sound. But that's all in here. There's tons of 90s, like kind of late 90s hardcore in here, but it's mixed with a kind of ton of early 2000s kind of metal, and it's vicious. And some of the solos that you get in here are Slayer level solos, which I really, you just get these little hints that kick in, and it flows in, and it's almost 40 minutes. It does not feel 40 minutes, and you will have to spin it again and again. I listened to this fucking loads, and I thought this was, this might be the first time I'm sitting here for a while saying that I think Unique Leader Records put out fucking perfect album. Like there ain't a bit on this where I was like, the only criticism is that they're not bringing anything I haven't heard before. But what they're doing is at the highest level of that genre, and the messaging, the lyrics, the clarity of what he's singing about in that tone, it's just everything about it I thought was fucking great. I think these guys are on to a winner with this album, and this is the sort of album that will propel a band like this well up in terms of, and I was thinking about this as well, the sound that they've got can fit in with God knows it. Like they could go on a more metal sort of tour, they could do some metalcore stuff, they could play on hardcore bills.
Yep.
There's just a whole ream of things that you could easily slot Extinction AD into.
Yeah.
And whilst I was listening to it, the only thing I could think of is, if I'm loving this, there's one man that's loving it more, and that man is Davey Buchanan. How much was this album just written for fucking you?
100%. 100%. This is just straight up, no fucks given metal. This isn't like I need a few listens to comprehend this album. This is, this is not, I'm going to go on a journey, man. This is not this type of album. This is dropping riff bombs from track one. And that's not to say that the songs don't have important messages behind them. They absolutely do. The lyrical content is just as charged as the music. But musically, this ticks all the boxes for me. I've always loved that kind of groove-laden sound. And this band are all about that groove. But as you said, there's also, a bit of thrash, a bit of kind of New York style hardcore being blended into the mix as well. The other band that came to mind when I didn't hear it on the reaction when we did Mastic, but when I listened to the album, and more specifically some of the kind of clean tones from Rick, the vocalist, it reminded me of Prong. So like kind of newer, kind of more modern era Prong, especially on like 13 and Star Strangled Banner, where he kind of like he pushes his vocals into that kind of higher register. That's what I kept picturing. I went back and I listened to some of the more recent kind of Prong albums. I was like, that's what it is I'm thinking about. But I love those melodies. That those two tracks, they really stood out for that reason. They were much, really memorable because of that kind of
12 tribes.
12 tribes.
12 tribes.
Yeah.
It's the 12 tribes before he got the mid-range 12 tribes singer.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a tone
people
as
out there who?
Yeah.
2 albums. Both of them were fucking great.
Yeah.
It's just so vicious, man.
Yeah. I think, musically there's like what's not to like here. Like they have, as you said, they've got a formula. But on album 3 for the band, it feels like everything is aligned.
Yeah.
Like they have brought over a bit of that kind of old school 90s metal thrash sound, and you can hear that probably more on their previous albums. But this time around it sounds far more chunky, a lot more modern sounding in this release, both stylistically and on the production. Like the structure of these tracks, they know exactly how to keep the momentum going on every single track. There's, as you said, there's never a dip. Like they keep the adrenaline high, the riffs are razor sharp, but their transitions from one part to the next are seamless as well. The way they use a lot of like the kind of the tails on the ends of the riffs, they use a lot of those to kind of move into the next section, but it's really smooth and really well done. And at some point on nearly every track, they break it down, they keep it nice and simple, just a big, hefty, chunky groove, very, a la Pantera style, but and that Pantera vibe does like kind of rear its head every now and again. When I was listening, I was thinking, I was expecting maybe they might go like at least maybe one track in them, they might maybe venture into something more clean and melodic, like
This Love.
This Love or Cemetery Gates and that type idea. But they don't really go there. Like the closest you'll get, I think the middle of Praise the Fraud, there's about a minute of clean guitars and melodic vocals. So they could do it. They absolutely could. And I wouldn't be averse to more of it, but because they're good at it. But to be honest, it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me at all.
It's a selfish thing where you're like that. It'd be really cool to see them do a whole track of that, but at the same time, the album doesn't suffer for not having it. Yeah, true. The production as well, by far the best they've had to date. The productions they had in the past weren't bad. They were a little more kind of old school sounding, but this is far more satisfying for me. It's got a polish to it, but it sounds thick and metallic. The drums are just punchy as hell, and the guitars just kind of growl at you the whole time. This is just an album you would throw on when you want something that's going to tear you a new arsehole. You know what I mean? Just like if you'd ever want a second arsehole, but I don't know, might be useful. It's not, as you said, it's not anything I haven't heard done before. It kind of does what it says in the tin, but it's done extremely well. Thoroughly enjoyable. Like, as I said, like as soon as I heard it, I just wanted to be up and doing something. Like, I just kind of like just charged it inside of me. Just had this energy inside me. Like when I was listening to it, it was awesome. So, scores. What did you think for Culture of Violence? What's your rating for this album? It's a 4.5. I think this is absolutely fucking great. This is definitely one of those ones that you for a fact you're going to go back to loads.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like perfect workout music. It's like perfect workout music, perfect building music, perfect DIY music, perfect get angry with your neighbours music. You know, when they're doing something you want to spite them, you play this loud. Like everything about Extinction AD at the moment has me like super excited. No band, I mean, they must know themselves. No band in their press release basically says, right, we did some stuff before, right? We know we did some stuff before, but this is the stuff right here.
Yeah.
They know themselves, and you have to fucking respect that. It's an album that, you know, if you don't respect it, it will pants you. And I kind of love it. So yeah 4.5.
Awesome. Yeah, I will completely agree with that. 4.5 from me as well. I thoroughly enjoyed this front to back. It's an album written for me 100%. Like, I love this sound, and these guys do it extremely well. So March 18th drops on Unique Leader Records. Links below to the band's Facebook, to the Bandcamp, so you can check it out. Pre-order that son of a bitch and let us know what you think. Stick some comments in below once you've heard it. Happy to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. That is the review. Thank you for checking it out. We'll be back with another review very soon, but until then, take care. Speak to you soon.
Bye, everyone.